Every second counts during critical responses. Cherry Valley Police is giving the public an inside look at the training simulator their officers use. Now, some of the video you're about to see contains scenes that might be upsetting for some viewers. This is only a simulation. It's a very real danger happening every day.
People often have this misconception that police officers are what they see in the movies and the video games and that they've got all of this time in the world to make these decisions, and unfortunately that's just not the case.
Cherry Valley Police handed us a mock weapon.
All right, I'm ready.
In this scenario, an active shooter at a busy mall.
And you'll see there in that instance when the screen goes black and white means the bad guy got you first.
Last week, a senior prank in Michigan almost turned deadly.
Hey, what, dude? Sorry. Get on the ground.
A student with a water gun jumped out at a police officer who thought he was dealing with a robbery suspect.
Holy crap, you're good, dude. You scared.
Cherry Valley Police Officer Jared Bungie says this is one of the many reasons they're inviting people to understand what officers go through in the same simulators they use to train.
Officers are constantly doing continuing education credits. We have a monthly training that we do at the Cherry Valley Police Department.
Officer Bungie says the community outreach event was created by one of their officers more than 4 decades ago.
Hey, I'd really like to do something to memorialize the officers that lost their lives in the line of duty. They got together, connected, and it started from a simple meet and greet at the mall to a dinner that was prepared by this officer and his family.
And out of the 5 scenarios I experienced, I only successfully did 2, so very tough job out there. Cherry Valley Police's simulator is free to use and is open Saturday starting at 10 in the morning at the Cherryville Mall. There's also other fun games for children like practicing carnival shooting or zombies in addition to the high-pressure situations.